In this video, we're going to be finding the remaining sides and angles of this oblique triangle. So remember that an oblique triangle is a triangle that is not a 90-degree triangle. So we've been given that side A is 22 inches, and we've been given that side B is 12 inches, and we've been given that angle A is 42 degrees. So here we can see that the pieces of the triangle that we were given was a side, and an angle. So this is kind of an ambiguous case here because we could end up with one solution, no solution, or two solutions here. So a little trick to help with that is right here. We know that we're going to have one solution if our side A is bigger or equal to our side B, okay? And here we see that 22 is in fact larger than 12, so we know that we're going to have one solution. And so what we're going to do now is we are going to use the law of sines to help us do this. So let's remember what the law of sines is. So we actually have two ways to look at it. We can look at it with our sides on the top and the angles on the bottom, which is this first way right here. Or we can even look at it with its reciprocal, where it's got the angles on the top and our sides in the denominator. And it kind of just depends on what we're looking for that we want to use that. So let's look at what we've got here, and we see that we have angle A and side A, and we have side B, but we need angle B. So we're going to go ahead, and because we're looking for an angle, we want to use this reciprocal of our law of sines. So let's go ahead and let's set that up. So we're looking for angle B, and we want to use our sine of angle A and our side A, which is 22 inches. So let's set it up. Okay, so here we see that we've got the sine of 42 over 22 equals the sine of B over 12. Now what we want to do is we want to get that sine of B by itself so that we can get the B by itself. So we want to get rid of that 12. So we're going to multiply both sides by 12. And doing that is going to allow us to cross out that 12 right there. So now we have 12 times the sine of 42 all divided by 22, and that's going to give us the sine of B. Now to separate our sine and our B, we're going to take the inverse of sine. So we're going to take the inverse sine of the sine of B, and that's going to allow those to cancel out. Which, whatever you do to the right side, you have to do to the left side. So we're also going to take the inverse sine of 12 times the sine of 42 all divided by 22. And that's actually going to give us the measure of our angle B. So if we take that and then we plug that into our calculator, that's going to give us that the measure of angle B is approximately 21.41 degrees, which is great because if we know two angles of a triangle, then technically we also know the third angle, because that third angle is going to be whatever our first angle and our second angle are subtracted from 180. So let's do that. So we're going to take our 42 degrees and we're going to add that with our 21.41 degrees, which is going to give us 63.41 degrees. So we're going to take our 180 degrees that we know a triangle is supposed to equal and subtract that 63.41 degrees, and we're going to get the angle C is 116.59 degrees. So we can write that down too. The measure of angle C is approximately 116.59 degrees. So now all we have left to find is for our side length C. All right, so we're still going to use our law of sines, and we still want to use our side A and our angle A to help set this up. So let's do that. This time though, since we're looking for a side and not an angle, we're going to want to go back to our original law of sines and not the reciprocal. Okay, so let's set that up. So we have 22 divided by the sine of 42 equals C over the sine of 116.59. And we're trying to get the C by itself. So we're going to multiply both the left and the right side by the sine of 116.59, because that's what's going to allow us to cross out those denominators that we want to get rid of so that we can find our side length of C. So we're going to see that C is going to equal 22 times the sine of 116.59 all divided by the sine of 42. Now when we do that, we're going to see that we're going to get that C is going to be about 29.4 inches when we plug that into our calculator. So now we found the three missing pieces that we needed. We found our missing angle B, we found our missing angle C, and we found our side length of C. So those were the remaining side and angles that we needed. And so now we're done.